Welcome back. President Obama is ready to unveil his recommendations on curbing gun violence. White House officials say he will announce the proposals tomorrow. Jessica Yellen has the details.
At the White House, they're ready to unveil their list of gun safety priorities.
The President and Vice President will hold an event here at the White House to unveil a package of concrete proposals to reduce gun violence and prevent future tragedies like the one in Newtown, Connecticut.
This comes just a month after the Newtown shootings and weeks after the president named Vice President Biden to head a task force on gun safety.
Their task is going to be to sift through every good idea that's out there and even take a look at some bad ideas before disposing of them and come up with a concrete set of recommendations in about a month.
The president will announce his proposals surrounded by children who wrote him in the wake of the Sandy Hook tragedy, and they're prepared for a fight.
The president's committed to pushing these proposals. He is not naive about the challenges that exist.
Multiple sources tell CNN the vice president told lawmakers he'll outline 19 actions the president can take without going through Congress. Examples: better enforcement of existing gun laws, keeping data on where the guns are. The government stopped keeping records in 2004. And improving the background check system so there's more sharing of information and prosecution of people who try to buy guns illegally. Then the president will call on Congress to take action, to pass an assault weapons ban, expand the background checks law to apply to all gun sales, and limit the sale of high-capacity magazines.
Will all of them get through this Congress? I don't know. But what's uppermost in my mind is making sure that I'm honest with the American people and with members of Congress about what I think will work.
And that was Jessica Yellen reporting. The U.S. House of Representatives has voted to add $33 billion to legislation to help victims of Superstorm Sandy. The late October storm was one of the worst ever to strike the Northeast. The 228 to 192 vote raises the total to $50.7 billion. The House is expected to approve the entire measure later Tuesday night. Sandy roared through several states in late October. It has been blamed for 140 deaths and billions of dollars in residential and business property damage, much of it in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Well, Richard, I tell you, weather conditions are nothing like Superstorm Sandy, but we're dealing with some cold weather back here in West Alabama.
It's cold and nasty out there.
It is.
A little bit of rain to talk about. We have dense fog tonight, river flooding, and the chance of maybe some of that white stuff in the forecast. Not much, just maybe a little bit.
Are you talking about snow, Richard?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's a tease. That's a good tease.
We'll talk about it after the break, but let's show today's weather almanac. 46 this afternoon, a chilly day with some rain out there, 39 last night. But what about the chance of some of that S word in the forecast? We'll talk about it after the break. Stick around.
WVUA brings you tomorrow's headlines tonight. In tomorrow's So Schools to News, read how UA freshman linebacker Reggie Ragland learns from the upperclassmen, plus a local choir heads to the presidential inauguration. And in tomorrow's SoSchoolsToNews.com web poll, should people on public assistance be able to spend their benefit funds at strip clubs?
Alabama's home team weather.
Hey, welcome back on this Tuesday night. We'll check out that Tuscaloosa Tower cam, and we are in the fog out there of the city of Tuscaloosa, especially a tower. That's a little bit higher up in the cloud deck and the fog out there, and it is kind of a mess if you've been out about it. It's chilly, it's foggy, a little mist happening, and some rain in scattered pockets. So we'll actually check it out on radar, see what's happening out there. Most of the rain is pretty scattered across the I-20 corridor. Notice some light returns showing up there where there's some mist falling or light drizzle, but a pocket of heavier rain around Montgomery, down towards portions of southern Perry County and southern Chilton County. That's lifting off towards the north, and that will impact Interstate 65 over the next several hours and move into the Birmingham metro. Our rain we're watching over the western side of the states, over the northwest corner of Alabama right now, and light to moderate rain falling roughly north of Jasper, north of Fayette, and north of Reform and Gordo there in Pickens County. But the heavier rain is still back in Mississippi. Some of that's going to transition into western Alabama later this evening and tonight. So if you have those travel plans, just take it extra easy on the roadways. No icing issues, but it's just wet, and you know how the roads can be when they're wet out there, so just take it easy on the highways. We are watching a wintry mess just to our west over the state of Mississippi. The northwest corner of the state, an ice storm warning in place there. They've had some big-time issues with a crippling ice storm over western portions of Mississippi. Fortunately, our temperatures here locally have stayed above that critical freezing point out there. And here's that watch warning map. The purple shade, you see that dark shade of purple, that's that ice storm warning. We have the river flood warnings, counties outlined in green for West Alabama. That includes the Black Warrior River, the Sipsey River, Sukanachi River, and also the Tombigbee River under that river flood warning. And all the rivers in western Alabama are going to threaten that flood stage. If not surpassing the flood stage already, they will likely do so in the next couple of days. So if you live in one of those low-lying areas close to a river or creek, certainly use caution out there. And always, if you're come across a flooded roadway, turn around, don't drown. You know the slogan there. Don't take a chance with the roadways that are underwater. You never know if they are washed out. By the way, the counties in gray there, that is a dense fog advisory for portions of West Alabama, also the central part of the state, roughly along and south of I-2059. And again, there's a flood watch back in Mississippi. So it is a mess out there, to say the least. We have temperatures in the 40s now, 45 in Tuscaloosa, 57 in Montgomery, 68 in Dothan. It's a lot warmer just southeast here. How about Pensacola, 70 right now? And they are enjoying the nice warm weather while we're just in the cold air. Behind the front, the old stationary front across central and southern part of the state, 34 back in Tupelo, and temperatures are below freezing across north and western portions of Mississippi. So here's that forecast tomorrow, what we're talking about. Noontime temperature up to about 44, and expect some rain at times, northwest wind around 6, and again, a lot of cloud cover and some rain at times. Now, it's not going to rain all day long tomorrow, and the rain's not going to be all that terribly heavy, but it's just going to be kind of a mess. You're going to need that rain gear all day tomorrow. And in fact, even into Thursday as well. So what's going to happen on Futurecast? Here's the rain tomorrow morning. In fact, some locally heavy rain over the Tennessee Valley. South of that, though, just kind of that light rain, spotty activity through the day tomorrow. Early tomorrow morning, we could catch a break around lunch before more rain builds in later in the day. And this associated with an upper level low we're going to move that will move across the state as we go into the daytime hours on Thursday. Thursday morning, there could be a transition to some light snow or light snow flurries mixed in the rain over the western part of the state sometime in the morning hours. That moves east by midday. No accumulations or travel issues expected at all, so we're not expecting any big deal out of that. But again, there could be that mixture over the I-2059 corridor. There's that map for that. Tonight's low temperature 38 degrees, cloudy skies, some rain at times, and a lot of fog out there. Take it easy if you're going to be driving on the highways. 48 tomorrow, 42 on Thursday. Notice we're above freezing, so if we see any of the white stuff, a few flakes flying around, we don't expect anything to stick at this point, at least over the western side of the state, and no travel issues with that. But we go below freezing Thursday night and Friday night as well. Sunshine returns over the weekend.
Well, with all the upcoming rain, it's a good thing that all these sporting events are going to be played inside.
Yeah, basketball appropriately indoors. You don't have to worry about it. And a big one tomorrow night, Alabama and Mississippi State in Starkville. The Tide could be down a player. Tonight, Tennessee and Kentucky. That's always a big rivalry. And also on the prep hardwood, speaking of rivals, Hillcrest and Northridge getting it on tonight. This one went right down to the wire. We'll have the highlights for you next in Alabama's Home Team Sports.
Now, the Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update with WVUA's Gary Harris.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to get it started off with some basketball news for Alabama. It's really not good. The Crimson Tide could be without leading scorer Trevor Relaford tomorrow night in Starkville against suddenly red-hot Mississippi State. The Crimson Tide junior point guard, who's averaging more than 16 points per game, sprained his ankle during practice on Monday. And head coach Anthony Grant said today at his weekly press conference that Alabama will most likely have to roll without their offensive leader.
Relaford injured his ankle yesterday in practice, so we don't know the status of him for the game. He's doubtful right now, but we'll evaluate it again here today. From my standpoint, I think that gives our younger guys an opportunity to step up and assume different roles, and gives other guys opportunities to get on the floor and do the things, obviously, that they came here to do. So whether or not he's available, our full expectation is to go in there and play well.
Well, you know, we play different roles in practice, so I think practice kind of prepares us for, you know, having different people at different spots. And just playing those games early in the season without them, it's helped us, and I think we'll be okay.
Alabama and Mississippi State tomorrow night at the Hump in Starkville. Notice that's an 8 p.m. tip. CSS will have the game on television. Of course, we'll have the highlights for you tomorrow night on the news at 10. SEC tonight, big rivalry, Tennessee at Kentucky. Kentucky vulnerable this year. Another group of great freshmen, but not quite as good as they've been the last couple of years. Derek Reese drains the three. Tennessee's got a lead in the second half at Rupp, 54-53, but the lead was short-lived as Ryan Harrow breaks a 56-all tie with this layup inside on the Vols' ensuing possession. Nerlens Noel says, get that shot out of here to Trey Golden. That starts the break going the other way. Julius Mays knocks down the three. Kentucky led at 61-56, and the Wildcats go on to get the victory 75-65, improving 11-5 on the season. Also in the SEC tonight, Ole Miss was at Vanderbilt. Final score in that one, in overtime, Vanderbilt scored only 1 point. Ole Miss wins it. Big road win for the Rebels. They go to 3-0, 89-79, the final. Prep hoops tonight, Hillcrest at Northridge. Great rivalry game, and this one went right down to the wire. Slow start for both teams. Hillcrest leading 6-2. Midway through the first quarter, that's when Marcus Matthews dumps it to Matt Reed. He knows what to do with it. Dunk you very much. That energized the Patriots fans, and the Jaguars called a timeout. Hillcrest up 7-3. And we're going to skip ahead now to the third quarter. The Jags not going down without a fight. Bo Scarborough, you know, for his football exploits, but right there he gets the rebound and puts it back up and in. Northridge, though, still trailing. Hillcrest comes back. Rayshawn Tubbs hits the tray in the corner, but Northridge pulls it out at home. Big win for the Jags. 42-40 was the final score. Well, many of you know Tyler Gates as the starting quarterback for Tuscaloosa County football team's Class 6A state playoff squad last season, but he's also an outstanding baseball pitcher for the Wildcats who hits the upper 80s on the gun. And this morning during a ceremony at Tuscaloosa County High, Gates signed scholarship papers with Bobby Sproul's Shelton State Buccaneers baseball squad. He told our Lee Smith he's excited about learning under Coach Sproul, who of course pitched in the big leagues for the Red Sox and the Houston Astros.
Mostly just Bobby being the head coach. He's been there for a long time. He's gotten a lot of people going to where they want to end up going, which would be SEC or MLB, which is what I end up want to go as. So hopefully that'll be the end goal.
Well, you know, we've watched him grow up as a player through the years, and he's not only is he a good baseball player, but he's a good athlete, as he showed you by being a quarterback at high school, which means he's a leader there. And you know, we're lucky he's got one of the better arms in the state, and hopefully we can develop him and get him where he wants to be.
Well, Tuscaloosa's bronze bomber Deontay Wilder's quest to become the heavyweight champion of the world will continue on Saturday night in Mexico when he will face Matt Greer in an 8-round scheduled fight. Wilder, who is 26-0, all by knockout, took the fight on short notice. Greer, who's from St. Louis, is 15-8 with 13 KOs. Wilder and his team flew to Mexico today to get ready for the fight. Deontay is the WBC Continental America's heavyweight champion. And according to the World Anti-Doping Agency, if Lance Armstrong wants to reduce his lifetime ban from sports, he needs to make a full confession under oath and not just in an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Armstrong admitted during that interview yesterday that he's used performance-enhancing drugs to help him win 7 Tour de France titles. The interview is set to run on Winfrey's network on Thursday. That's a look at your sports. We'll be back with the news at 10 right after this.
The Tuscaloosa Chevrolet Sports Update on WVUA. Roll, Chevy, roll.
Well, we've all had teachers who've made a difference in our life, but we don't often get a chance to tell them thank you. But one school was able to do just that this weekend when they honored the woman they affectionately call Granny. Agnes Zelnick just turned 99 years old. The school where she teaches, the Sundance School in North Plainfield, New Jersey, held a big birthday celebration for her on Sunday. Hundreds attended, including many of her former students. They presented her with a quilt, a cake, 99 red balloons, and Zelnick says that she began teaching in 1995 when she was already in her 80s.
So she's a young 99. She's got a lot of good years still in front of her, I bet, teach. That's awesome.
A lot of wisdom to pass on to all those students if she's in her 80s.
Yeah.
Well, she started teaching in her 80s. She's 99 now. So imagine the stories she can tell them.
Yeah,
I got a feeling she's still going to be going at 109. How
yes,
about that?
she will.
So.
She will. And Agnes probably doesn't need to be out in the weather.
Ooh, kind of cold, rainy,
very cold.
a lot of fog out there. Take it easy if you're going to be driving on the highways. We have that dense fog advisory. You see the counties in gray, roughly along and south of I-20 there. for much of central Alabama. A lot of rain to deal with, but the rain's kind of separated away from I-20 at this point. A batch of rain south of town, and then a lot of rain over northwest Alabama. We're going to watch that over the coming hours, spread into much of the state. Expect rain at times tomorrow for Wednesday. As we go into Thursday, though, we could have that light snow mixture Thursday morning, mixing in the rain. No big deal, no travel issues. Notice temperatures are well above freezing, but it could be just enough to get us a few flakes flying around here Thursday morning. I think after lunch, some sunshine could return, and we'll warm up back in the 50s on Friday, Saturday. A really nice weekend, and just in time for the parade on Saturday. It is going to be perfect weather, so you're heading out to the big parade.
So we'll have to, yes, definitely going there. Gary's going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Terry and I will be bringing it to you in your homes, and glad y'all mentioned that again. We're excited about bringing the National Championship Parade live on Saturday afternoon right here, so make a note of it.
Starting at 1.
If you're going to be here, that's great. Set your DVR and go back and watch it later that night. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
If you're not able to get out.
And the weather's going to be pretty good, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, looking great.
So we have to deal with the rain to get to a nice weekend, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take that.
That's our report for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
Good night.